Open your Bibles to Acts 17. We've been here several times. I want to read you a message, actually two messages, and I'll have something to say about those messages. Now let me first go to Acts 17, verse 16. Now while Paul waited for Silas and Timothy, at least those two, maybe more, to arrive. Now while Paul waited for them at Athens, Paul's in Athens, his spirit was stirred. His spirit was stirred. The spirit didn't just let him take a day off or become a Christian couch potato and do nothing about the problem that he saw. That bothered him. And the spirit stirred him when he saw the city wholly given to idolatry, or full of idols. There's another translation. We have a whole world. You don't have to have necessarily trinket type idols or statues. We have philosophies. I just told you about one, humanism, a few moments ago. That is worshipped. A plan that man should regulate his life by. And while Paul waited for them in Athens, his spirit was stirred in him when he saw the city wholly given to idolatry. Ask yourself today. I'm sure I had people going to church today that are watching me, wherever your church is located. Was your spirit stirred, knowing that there's a world out there that's following all types of philosophies, doctrines, false gods worldwide? And ask yourself, what can I do about it? What can I do about it? Well, at the very least, there's no one that listens to me cannot support this ministry that's doing something about it. That's the very least. So you're without excuse. His spirit was stirred in him when he saw the city wholly given to idolatry. Therefore, remember, his spirit is being stirred. Therefore, disputed. Probably a better translation is contended. He in the synagogues with the Jews. What do you think he was contending about? I think it's quite clear what he was contending about. In that city location, how it was given to idolatry. Well, the Jews obviously were not that effective. They probably stayed in their little synagogues and didn't expand from that little gathering place with all their customs and practices. But that's not all he contended with. There was others. Therefore, contended or disputed he in the synagogue with the Jews and with devout persons. Gentiles that were either converted to Judaism or possibly even some type of message of the gospel that they heard and became converted. So either or. No one knows for sure. I tend to believe converted Gentiles that became associated with the Jewish traditions and beliefs. So he contended with the religious aspect. I think that we've been doing that. See, the Spirit is just, let's say, somebody else will take care of it. Somebody else will participate. Somebody else will preach it. Somebody else will help that message get out. you've been called. You're not here by accident to somehow to participate. If you think it's a coincidence, then you haven't listened to me very long. And I really don't know what you're listening to. Run from it fast as you can. And with the devout persons, and in the, where? In the market. The agora in the Greek. The agora, I'll write on the board. The marketplace. Well, is that the Greek definition for agora? And by the way, this is a message for the people that were writing down the definitions that I was giving in the teachings, whether it's Greek or Hebrew, and you were sending them in. You stop doing that. Why? Did I tell you to stop? If you check the website lately, we have a section now where you're going to have maps, dictionary, the words that I use, and other things. We're expanding into that area. Don't stop. Agora. What is agora? It's basically a place where people assembled. Well, that's my church building. It necessarily doesn't mean that. In this case, it means marketplace. A place where the general population assembled, mostly to buy some type of goods or communicate some type of message. Now, why am I bringing this up? Let me finish this first, though. After dealing with the religious element of what in the heck is wrong here, how come you're not going out to these people? At least declare the truth. And Paul had good reason to believe that's not what they were doing. Because if they were declaring the truth, they probably would have been chased out of town also. Let's not disturb anything. We have our little niche here. They're not bothering us, and we won't bother them. Well, guess what? Part of being a disciple of Jesus Christ, there's no nice way of saying it. You really become a bleep disturber. I can't say what I really want to say, so I'll just insert the bleep. You become a bleep disturber. People don't want the truth. People don't want the light to shine on them. They want to live in their darkness. They're comfortable in it. So after disputing, contending with the religious element, they were basically good for nothings as disciples of Jesus Christ or of God. He then went into the agora, the marketplace. And he took them, or at least some of them. What? And with the devout persons and in the market daily with them that met with him. Let me read it to you slowly again. Therefore, disputed or contended, he in the synagogue with the Jews, in the church corner, let's just call it that, and with the devout persons, Gentiles that probably turned to Judaism, and in the market daily with them. Who's the them there? I believe he brought some with them that would listen to the truth, and the them that were already located there. Idolaters in the marketplace. And he would, what do you think he did? Yes, he used the occasion of tent make, because that's where he would do it, or sell the fabric, as some believe. But it's another more wonderful option that Paul put first in his life, is get the news of the gospel of Jesus Christ with the hope of turning this idolatrous marketplace and town and city into at least recognizing who the Son of God is, and it's time to turn from their ways and turn unto Jesus Christ. Oh, God forbid if we're any bleep disturbers. We might put the spotlight on us, and it might bring us problems. Now, I mentioned about a month ago or so that we're going to activate our Facebook account, Twitter, whatever we have, any accessible places that we can let people know where they can find the truth at www.teachingfaith.com. I said I didn't care if you went there to check out anything that we're doing there. I said that we're using that as a tool to get people to the website. So I started getting messages back from faithful people. This is just one. I said to myself, they don't get it. This one actually sent me 2 messages, and they start getting it somewhat. I'll read it to you. I opened an account on Facebook when they first opened. They had since disabled my account and are requesting more info from me in exchange for bringing me back online. So far, I haven't complied, and after hearing about this latest move to censor the Navy SEALs videos and others, I don't think I'll be bringing my Facebook account back to life. Facebook is not to be trusted and are an unreliable conduit for the free flow of information. Just my opinion. What isn't? Hopefully you heard my first segment tonight of what I taught on. What isn't? And like I said, I don't care if you do or don't. It's not a requirement. I'm not saying you can't be a HOF if you don't have a Facebook account. I never said that, did I? I said I was going to use it as a tool. Not me. I hardly know anything about it, to tell you the truth, because I don't personally use it myself. But as far as this ministry goes, like I said, if you have to go up against the gates of hell to get the message across to somebody that might be at the edge of crossing over past those gates into the entrance of hell, then that's where we're going to be. And I also mentioned, if memory serves correctly, that I've had people make suggestions you should move out of California. California is going to hell in a handbasket. And I said, if this is where hell is, what better place to be located? Until they run me out of town. And I have no other option but to relocate somewhere else so I could keep on broadcasting. Boy, do we need New Testament saints to have a fresh mindset, what these people had, and what they understood what a disciple of Jesus Christ is all about. You're more concerned about the Navy SEALs being censored? Give me a break. What's more important to you? If you could maybe lead someone, if you had a Facebook account, to www.teachingfaith.com, or Navy SEALs, or the Marines, or the Rangers, or whatever it is. Your focus, once again, is back in the here and now. Now, to the credit of this person, wrote back 3 days later, I believe, I am relooking at the use of Facebook and the whole going viral phenomenon. And it is a phenomenon. I early sent an email that I probably wouldn't be using Facebook, considered unreliable. I haven't yet decided, but wanted to let you know that I'm researching it before I use it. I like anonymity. It may be time to break the picture, even at the risk of exposing myself. Let me ask you this question, because now you're starting to get a clearer picture of the track that you should be on, whether you decide Facebook or not. You can decide just pass out these cards, if that's what you want to do. But you're on the right track. Because you're starting to realize exposing yourself is what these characters here in the New Testament disciples did. They exposed themselves to their last breath. To their last breath. Let me read you something. In Acts 18, we have the introduction of Paul, Priscilla, and Aquila in the marketplace. What is the marketplace again? What I do with my... Oh, it's my Bible. A place where people assemble. That could be anything or anywhere, my friend. In today's society, in our world, it can mean just about anything. You mean it's just not the place in the church corner with a nice, comfortable atmosphere with people that have something in common with me and supposedly they're all going to heaven anyway? There's no bleep disturbers there that would put me in an uncomfortable position? That won't demand much from me? No, it doesn't mean that at all. It means a marketplace, the agora, a place where people assembled. I guess you can say it was the internet of Paul's time. Not just a little church building somewhere. It was not the synagogue. Remember, he contended with them. It was whatever let's just use an internet again as an example. Well, you can find an internet to use as a tool. Well, there's so much evil. You watch television, you hear radio. What do you live in, a bubble? There's just as much evil there as anywhere else. You control what you hear or what you see. But use the same media sources to express the good news about your Savior. The one that has rescued you. I could preach some sloppy-goppy message on how Jesus saves the way most do. I just won't. It's like those seeds that drop on the ground but really never take root, most of those messages. Because people, I believe, are looking for something deeper and more meaningful. In Acts 18, we have the introduction of Paul, Priscilla, and Aquila in the marketplace. Priscilla and Aquila were not on the outskirts of Corinth, like the seller of purple in Philippi, which that was Lydia. Now, she was in the outskirts. I don't believe she was just in the outskirts, so I disagree with this historian. That's where she was found praying, and where Paul separated himself with others to pray, and the two met there. And Lydia became a wonderful inspiration and source for Paul, I believe, to carry out his ministry through all of Asia Minor. I've preached on that before. Priscilla and Aquila were not on the outskirts of Corinth like the seller of purple in Philippi, but rather in well-established market of the cosmopolitan and diverse city of Corinth. These marketplaces can be seen in the ruins of Corinth even today. These tight marketplaces are not exclusive to Corinth, but common across the commercial centers of the Mediterranean. Priscilla and Aquila had lately come from Rome after the Emperor Claudius expelled Jews out of the capital for following a man named Christ. They set up shop in Corinth. They were ran out of town, in other words. So where do they go? Do they go in hiding? They just stayed at home in their protected environment? Did they find a nice little cozy church somewhere so they could associate with fellow-minded heavenly citizens? No. They just found another marketplace. And that's how Paul found them. What if that didn't happen? Priscilla and Aquila became a wonderful source also for Paul in his ministry. What if they decide to stay home or stay in their comfortable environment? Because they'd had the excuses. They'd already been ran out of town, and not just any town, Rome. What's brainwashed you? With a mindset that's not New Testament-like. Priscilla and Aquila had lately come from Rome after the Emperor Claudius expelled Jews out of the capital for following a man named Christ. They set up shop in Corinth just as many other artisans did. Artisans flocked to Corinth to set up shop because of the opportunities. Whether they worked in bronze, pottery, glass, or leather, Corinth was an uncommon place of upward mobility in the ancient world. If their shop was similar to other shops in the ancient Near East of the first century, they would have had 10 to 12 freedmen and slaves working leather to make tents in a shop with a large open door or window to the street, so workers could interact with those passing by. There would have been cots in the back for the workers to stay the night and an apartment above for the owners to live. Paul walked past the idolatrous temples, synagogues, and places of government and walked into the marketplace. He found the shop of Priscilla and Aquila and used it as a base for not only plying his trade, tent making, but also for sharing the gospel. It didn't scare Paul off, the marketplace. Paul sought out the large cosmopolitan cities that were strategically placed along Near Eastern merchant trade routes such as Athens, Corinth, Ephesus, Philippi, and Thessalonica. Once he entered these cities, he headed to the marketplace. The synagogues were a definite priority, but he also went into the marketplace where large numbers could be found in these urban centers. His audience would be transient and without the same cultural baggage as the Jews in Jerusalem. These cities would expand and contract quickly as festivals, merchants, seasons, and movements of military and athletic events would occur, and they were centers of Roman administration, of Greek civilization, of Jewish importance, or of some commercial importance. They sound very much like the cities of the modern world. You know where the Democrats in this last election, last Tuesday night, won the election? In the cities. If you look at the map of the United States, I couldn't believe when I saw it. Even though I've seen it before. Just about every inch of that map is red. But you see these blue dots across the nation. Mostly red, 90% red, but 10% blue. And all these blue dots where the Democrat won the election were what do you think? Major cities. Cities like Los Angeles, cities like San Francisco, cities like Seattle, cities like Portland, cities like San Antonio, Texas, and Houston, Texas. New York City, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Miami. Where the marketplace, where the most population was, and it is in our day. If you like just coloring a map, then you would have been satisfied with the results, because most of it was red. But that was not the public opinion on who should be in office. The blue won out. Imagine if Paul just wanted to stay in the red. That was not his attitude, folks. He made a beeline for these marketplaces. They sound very much like the cities of our modern world. It is not by coincidence that all but a few of Paul's epistles, all but a few, are to churches in large urban centers. The marketplace is where the ancient world came together. Fully 90% of the ancient populations were involved in agriculture in some way. But they came to the marketplace to buy and sell goods. The marketplace was where the rural and urban intersect in the ancient world. The marketplace is the source and character of the city. It is where goods and services are bought and sold, and where individuals pursue their goals, needs, and desires. Yes, he did enter the synagogue on the Sabbath, but he was in the marketplace the rest of the week. As one historian puts it, a city cannot exist without a marketplace in the same fashion that a body cannot live without a heart. Paul understood that by inserting the gospel into the marketplace. He inserted the gospel where? Into the marketplace. What is the marketplace, the agora? Where people assemble. He inserted the gospel into the marketplace. He could impact the whole city and region in that marketplace. The mission strategy of tent making is for the marketplace. In other words, tent making is for the city which revolves around the marketplace. And access to the marketplace in some shape, fashion, or form is an integral to this strategy. One historian puts it quite accurately and clear, really, if you think about it, what he said. I'll just read it to you. For a city to be transformed, the marketplace must be transformed. For a city to be transformed, the marketplace must be transformed. The marketplace is where the battle for our city should be fought. And there is an army already in place that needs to be commissioned and empowered. I believe so. But God forbid if we had shepherds or under shepherds behind pulpits letting people know that. We have lost the concept of tent making and the importance of the marketplace. Oh, that is so true. We have the why, W-H-Y, right, Jesus Christ, and what is sharing the gospel. But we have lost the concept of place, the marketplace of urban centers. Some imply that the place is exclusively restricted access countries or anywhere that you cannot reach with our traditional methods, but they are wrong. Although restricted access countries are an important application for tent making as a strategy, it is not a defined quality. Tent making is about reaching the marketplace and consequently the cities of the world with the gospel. Community leaders and the active population masses are in the marketplace. And if we do not go into the marketplace to minister to them directly, we must rely on hope that they will wander into our churches. And less are doing that. They're not wandering into the churches. In this country, the Barna Group puts that out, statistically how congregations are diminishing. So if they don't come in the door, what do? Go out to the marketplace. However that is defined. No matter where it's located, even up against the gates of hell. Tent making is about reaching the marketplace and consequently the cities of the world with the gospel. Community leaders and the active population masses are in the marketplace, and if we do not go into the marketplace to minister to them directly, we must rely on hope that they will wander into our churches. The marketplace is where a community buys and sells goods and services and trains the next generation. It is where business gets done and an entire town goes to earn a living. For many, 1/3 of their day is spent in the marketplace. Whatever that is defined in now in today's world, it can mean many different things. And our churches need more tent makers to reach them. Whether you're working in a foreign setting or home or for a nonprofit, government, or corporation, a tent maker must be connected to the marketplace in some way. I asked the question again. Probably the same question that Paul asked when he went to Athens. When his spirit was stirred in him by what he saw, how another city is controlled and ruled by idolatry, what they worshipped. So therefore he contended and disputed in the synagogue, probably saying, what in the heck is wrong with you people? You want enmity? Then stay here. Hopefully some of you will follow me. Let's head to the marketplace. And bring them the good news of God's word, what he was commissioned to deliver and instruct people by. If I made you uncomfortable, good. Good. We need more New Testament saints of this quality. Not what pastors and preachers have produced. Comfortable so-called Christians with their environment. And your excuse, if you're a watcher of this ministry, for not participating, if you're not, you should be ashamed of yourself. Not because you didn't participate with me, because you didn't get involved with what God's doing here and how we're trying to get out to that marketplace every which way we can. You're worrying about Navy SEALs? How about the person that's right up against the gates of hell? You should be there saying, stop, no further. At least let me tell you something. And if you don't want to do it, at least what you can do is support a ministry that does. If it's not this one, some other one. But don't be doing nothing. There's no place for it in the path and journey of a disciple of Jesus Christ. There's no place for it at all. Paul didn't stop there. He went to Mars Hill to deal with philosophers. He used every opportunity he can find. Well, I'm not comfortable with it. Well, I'm not comfortable with anything this world produces. But guess what? I know what I'm comfortable with. I know what's given me hope. I know what my faith and trust is based on, in and on. And for that, I'm not ashamed of the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ, and let me add anyone that wants to hear it in any place that will let me proclaim it. And that's what your attitude should be also. If it's not, then you need a different mindset. Stop thinking the way of the world and any other silly nonsense that you've been brainwashed with, and start thinking like a New Testament saint. You get it? Well, if you do, then I want to hear from you now. Play the song.